All right, let's get right into it. If you are truly done with the excuses and you're ready to finally take command of your financial future, then this is for you. We are about to break down the core principles of creating wealth into a straight-up, no-fluff guide. You're probably going to want to take some notes.
And believe me, I mean that. This is going to be direct, because there's this huge myth that you need money to make money. But if you look at history, the biggest fortunes were built from the exact opposite, from nothing. So if you're someone who gets offended by raw truth, this might not be your thing. But if you're ready to hear it, let's begin.
And this slide right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the matter. It shows the one fundamental mistake most people make. See, the poor mindset is just passive wishing. I mean, come on, who doesn't want money? But the rich mindset, that's about an active, specific, and definite intention. It's like they're playing a totally different game.
So, here's our game plan. We're going to follow this exact roadmap. First, we lay the foundation with what's called a burning desire. Then, we build the actual blueprint. After that, we dive into execution and persistence. Then we master the mind, and we'll finish with a secret weapon, the decisive bonus factor.
Okay, Section 1, the foundation. This is ground zero. This is where you learn to transform a simple wish into an all-consuming obsession. And notice, we're not starting with a business loan or a great contact list. We're starting with something inside you, a powerful internal state called a burning desire.
So, let's be crystal clear on what a burning desire actually is. This is not some casual, yeah, I'd like to be rich thought. No, it's an obsession. It's the one definite, precise goal that completely takes over your thinking, morning, noon, and night.
And this story, man, it just illustrates it perfectly. This guy, Edwin C. Barnes, he shows up to meet the great Thomas Edison with literally nothing. He didn't just want a job working for Edison. His burning desire was to be a business partner with Edison. He had no money, but in his mind, he was already an associate. His thoughts were kingly.
And that leads right into the second step. You have to burn your ships. You have to intentionally create a point of no return. Barnes made up his mind that he would get what he wanted, even if it took the rest of his life. He left himself no way out. You have to get to a place where winning is your only option.
So, once that desire is locked in, we move to Section 2. We've got this intangible fire, right? Now, how do we turn that feeling into a concrete, actionable blueprint that you can actually follow? Step 3 is all about precision. A vague goal like, I want to be rich, is totally useless. You have to decide on the exact dollar amount of money you intend to have. Your brain needs a crystal clear target to lock onto.
Then comes step 4, which is a non-negotiable law of the universe. There's no such thing as something for nothing. So you have to decide, what are you going to give in return for this money? What service, what product, what idea? Be specific.
And next, step 5. You must set a definite, unmovable date. Think about it. A dream without a deadline is just a fantasy. It's a wish. You need to pick the exact date you will have this money in your possession. That creates real urgency.
And finally, step 6 and 7 are where you make it real. First, you create a clear, practical plan. And here's the kicker. You start immediately, right now, whether you feel ready or not. Then, you write it all down in one single statement. The exact amount, the deadline, what you'll give, and your plan. You're literally giving form to your desire.
Okay, moving on to Section 3, execution. You've got the blueprint. Now it's time to put it into motion. This is where the real work begins. Developing the habits to push through the obstacles that are, without a doubt, heading your way.
Step 8 is all about programming your subconscious mind. You're going to read that written statement of yours out loud, twice every single day, once right before you go to sleep and once the moment you wake up. And when you read it, you have to see yourself, feel yourself, and believe yourself already having the money. This is how you hardwire it into your brain.
Now, along the way, you are absolutely going to face what feels like failure. And that brings us to a huge question in step 9. How close to success are you willing to quit? Because let me tell you, temporary defeat is a trickster. It loves to test you right before you're about to strike gold.
And this story is just a brutal illustration of that fact. This guy, R.U. Darby, he and his uncle gave up on their gold mine. They sold all their equipment for pennies on the dollar. Well, the guy who bought it brought in an expert. And you know what they found? Darby had stopped digging just 3 feet away from one of the biggest gold strikes in history. Never, ever mistake a temporary setback for permanent failure.
So to avoid making that 3 feet from gold mistake, we come to section 4, mastery. This is where you build your mental arsenal. You need the tools to protect your vision and make your mind bulletproof against doubt and negativity.
Think of this as your mental toolkit. You've got faith, which is like the secret ingredient that makes your thoughts powerful. You've got emotion, which acts like a magnet, giving those thoughts life and drawing things to you. Autosuggestion is the control panel for your subconscious. And concentration, that's the laser beam focusing all your power on that one single goal.
A huge part of this is learning to ignore negativity. When Henry Ford told his engineers he wanted a V8 engine cast in a single block, they all told him it was impossible. Ford's reply? Produce it anyway, and he kept on them until they did it. You have to get to a point where the word impossible just doesn't exist for you.
And now we've arrived at the final piece of the entire puzzle. Section 5. We're calling this the decisive bonus factor. This is the secret power that takes your plan out of your head and elevates it into something much, much bigger.
So here it is, the final step. All that work you've done, the desire, the writing, the emotion, it transforms your idea into what you can call a magnetic seed. It's not just a thought anymore. It's become this powerful, energetic force that literally starts attracting the right people, the right breaks, and the right circumstances you need to make it all happen. So there you have it, the entire blueprint, from a simple thought to real-world manifestation. And it all boils down to one final question. Now that you have the knowledge, what are you going to do? Are you going to be a person of action or a person of excuses? The choice, as always, is yours.